Good morning, students. Today we shall be learning about the factors that affect the climate of India. Your learning objective for today's lesson is to identify the different factors that affect the climate of India, and your learning outcome is to analyze each of the factors that affect the climate of India. The first factor is latitude. Latitude is the sun's direct rays which fall on the equator. Therefore, we find that these regions will be extremely hot. As we move towards the North Pole and the South Pole, we find that the temperature decreases because it is the slanting rays of the sun that is received by the latitudes. Therefore, we find most of the tourist destinations in the temperate region. The tropical region is extremely hot, followed by the temperate region, which is slightly cooler, and finally we have the frigid region, which is your North Pole and South Pole, where the slanting rays or we have the oblique rays of the sun. The next factor is the altitude. Students, we must keep in mind that the higher we go, the cooler it gets. Therefore, you will find that the temperature is always low in higher altitude. An example of this is in West Bengal. When you are in Kolkata, you will find that it is extremely hot in summers. So, which is the closest tourist destination we choose in West Bengal? We try to go to Darjeeling. It is also in West Bengal. But why is it cooler? It is because it is on a higher altitude. Therefore, the higher we go, the cooler it gets. This is the other factor that affects the temperature of any place, even India. The next factor is the nearness to the sea. When we talk about nearness to the sea, we mean to say that the temperature around the coastal areas remains same throughout the year. That is, during the summers and during the winters, it is cool and pleasant. This is called continuality. That means temperature conditions which are extreme, land and water cools rapidly. Therefore, the temperature remains same. The next factor that affects the climate of any place is high pressure and low pressure. Students, we must remember that winds travel from areas of high pressure to regions of low pressure. Low pressure is created when any land gets heated up, and therefore we find that the cold moisture laden winds or the cold winds from the surrounding body or the surrounding nearby body will move towards the region of low pressure. This is typically what happens during the summers, and that is how the monsoon is generated because land gets hot, therefore low pressure is created, and the surrounding water body is cool, therefore high pressure is created there, and therefore we find the winds or the moisture laden winds moving from high pressure to low pressure. The next factor is relief. Students, when we talk of relief in geography, we mean the highlands and the lowlands, that is, mountains, plateaus, plains, and your sea. And relief affects the climate of any place and temperature as well. As we have discussed in the various factors, the higher we go, the cooler it gets. Therefore, the mountains will be the coldest. Then we have the plateaus. The plains will be slightly hotter, and finally, when we are near the sea or the distance between the sea, those areas remain comparatively cooler compared to the plains and plateaus. Thank you, students, for being present in today's class. This is an introductory class about the climate of India. We shall be studying them more in details in the classes that we will do next. Thank you.